Welcome to Daytime Ottawa here on Rogers TV. I'm your host, Derek Fage. Another great episode ahead for you. We're going to be talking a little bit about fitness and New Year's resolutions. But first, we are going to be discussing Blue Monday. Blue Monday, I think we all know about. It's the third Monday in January, is known as Blue Monday, the most depressing day of the year. And the month of January can be difficult for many different reasons. We're coming off the holidays. You've got bills. Perhaps you've broken a New Year's resolution, which we're going to talk about in our guest after our first guest. But first up, I am joined by nutritionist and author Karlene Karst. Karlene, welcome to the show. It's great to have you here. Happy New Year to start things off. But let's talk about Blue Monday. We've heard a lot about it. I mentioned a couple of the reasons why it can be such a depressing time for people, but maybe you can expand on that a little bit for us.
Yeah, well, absolutely. And I mean, I think we all want to just take back the power from knowing that January is this kind of like low point in the year. We've got less daylight, the temperatures are colder. We kind of don't have that excitement of maybe gathering with friends and family. And so it can be a particularly difficult month. And I think January 17th is kind of where it's at its peak in terms of those things. And so we only have one way to go from there, and that's up. And thankfully, there are several different things that we can do. If you're somebody that suffers from low mood or feeling kind of blah and slightly depressed because of the season, there are several things that we can do to kind of brighten the mood.
Yeah, and it can be more serious for some people, right? When it comes to seasonal
Yes.
affective disorder, SAD, that's where you probably want to see a professional. But let's first talk about the first thing you say, and that is declutter your environment. And okay, it sounds like a chore, but you're saying this is very important.
It is really important, clutter-free space, clutter-free mind. And so January really, it's the beginning of the year. And if you resolve to do anything in your home, it is cleaning it up, purging, donating. It's a great time to find a home for everything. And if you haven't been using it, put it away, give it away, and just get rid of it. And studies actually show people feeling happier in their home environment when it's clean and it's clear, and you can rest well. You can enjoy your time at home when things are, feeling organized and put together.
Yeah, and I notice you have fresh flowers there, and I'm going to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I'm not saying this just because I have you as a guest on the show, but before I read some of your information about, your appearance on today's show, I had actually bought my wife 3 small bouquets of flowers to put throughout. And then I read that this is actually something, I try to do it as often as possible, but this is something you even suggest because studies do show it also helps boost spirits, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And I was extra excited yesterday in prepping for this when I found tulips, because that really to me marks that we are well on our way. And there is just something about fresh or real or living flowers, and also plants, getting a nice winter bulb or a winter plant, and even fresh herbs in your kitchen can just provide that extra oxygen and green and kind of freshness that your home really craves.
Let's turn our attention to food because I see you have some in front of you there. There's something that can certainly change our mood as well, depending on what we're eating. When it comes to a comfort food, we may turn to sugary snacks. I'm imagining that's not what you're going to recommend.
No, not really. But I also don't believe in restricting and depriving yourself. So that can create more
Right.
stress and anxiety too. But once you get yourself set on the right pattern, boy, I'm telling you, food really has the power to impact mood. And many health professionals recommend improvements in diet. And what's interesting is there's a group of nutrients called healthy fats. And the connection is to our brain and our emotional well being, and that our brain is actually made from fat. So the more you nourish your body and the more foods that you consume that contain these healthy fats, like avocados and nuts and seeds and omega-3 oils found in fatty fish like salmon, this will actually not only help to build your whole body, but will actually help to build your brain. And research shows that it does have an improvement on our serotonin, which is our feel-good hormone, and also helps to, just overall help your body to deal with stress and anxiety and that feeling of low mood.
And I imagine those are some of the examples you have in front of you there that you recommend people turn
Yeah.
to. Yeah. Let's
Yeah,
talk about
definitely. And of course,
exercise. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
right. No, absolutely. And I think in addition to the food, getting outside and enjoying nature. And in winter, we're Canadian, we're hardy. I grew up in Saskatchewan. And so we are not strangers to cold climate, but I don't think anyone would regret bundling up and getting outside to get some fresh air and move your body. It really is nature's best antidepressant. And we all feel better after moving and just getting that fresh air. And it really does boost our feel good hormones, just really brighten our mood. And it's a wonderful thing to do as a family. We all come back into the house. I have 3 school-age children, and we all come back into the house just feeling a lot happier, and
Yeah.
so it's one of the best things that you can do. Layer
Well,
up.
speaking of that, yeah, I was going to say, speaking of that, also, sunlight, and we've had many gray days. I know you yourself have had many gray days out there in Vancouver, but here in Ottawa, we've had many gray days. And, when there is sunshine, I know it can be extremely cold when the sun is out, but it is important to get some of that sunshine, isn't it?
Yes, absolutely. Definitely in the winter, although we want to stay in bed later in the morning, shifting your schedule to incorporate a healthy morning routine where the daylight is at its peak and at its brightest. If you're working from home, like so many of us are, move your computer, your desk, push it closer to the window so that you're really getting the benefits of that natural light. And it will also help to boost those feel good hormones that should naturally be circulating in the body, but because of the lack of light, in January, they're not. So getting outside, even sitting in the car, sometimes I find to be therapeutic. It's like letting a little bit of that light on. You can tell how light deprived we are here in the West Coast.
Yeah,
So it's like
absolutely.
anything works. Yeah.
Karlene, always a pleasure having you on the show. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
All
Have a
right, take
healthy
care.
January. Thank you.
Thank you. You too. Coming up after the break, we're going to talk about getting active. We'll be right back after this.